Today, we're going headfirst into something that's just completely woven into our daily lives. Social media.
Absolutely.
Scrolling through Facebook, catching up on Instagram, maybe getting lost in TikTok, a quick look at Snapchat, or even browsing X.
Right. It's where so many of us connect now, share things.
Find entertainment, even learn stuff sometimes. It feels almost automatic, doesn't it?
It really does. Yeah. It's become such an ingrained habit, the way we interact, get our news. It's all changed so fast.
But while it feels essential, we're not just going to skim the surface today. Our mission here is to really dig down, explore those often kind of underestimated dangers.
Yeah, the hidden cost.
Exactly. What these platforms can pose to our minds, our bodies, even how we sort of shape our future. The stuff that isn't immediately obvious.
Right. Because that initial buzz, a new notification, getting a like,
Yeah.
it feels good. Right there in the moment.
Totally.
But it's so important to understand the potential long-term consequences that can, creep up on you almost unnoticed.
So we're going to look closely at things like the addictive grip, the real impact on mental well-being, those sleep-stealing late-night scrolls. We've all been there.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
How it chips away at our focus, the serious side of cyberbullying.
Yeah, that's the big one.
The murky waters of privacy and, the way these curated, perfect online lives can mess with our own perceptions.
And they're all connected, aren't they? It's not just one thing. These dangers often feed into each other.
That's a great point. They amplify each other.
Making the overall impact potentially much bigger.
And just to frame this, think about this stat. The average person spends around 2.5 hours every single day on social media.
Wow. 2.5 hours.
Yeah, that adds up to over 900 hours a year. That's like more than a full month, 37 days.
A whole month of scrolling, when you put it like that.
It really makes you stop and think, doesn't it?
Well,
what are we actually getting back from that huge investment of our time? Okay, so let's unpack this. That initial draw, the allure, what hooks us?
Well, it's fascinating, actually. It taps right into our basic psychology. That little ping, a like, a comment, it triggers a dopamine release.
Ah, the feel-good chemical.
Exactly. A reward signal in the brain. But what makes it really sticky is the unpredictability. It's a bit like a slot machine.
Okay, how so?
You don't know when the reward is coming. A like, a comment, a new post. But that anticipation keeps you checking, keeps you pulling the lever, so to speak.
So it's the maybe, the potential reward, not just the reward itself, that intermittent reinforcement.
Precisely. That keeps us hooked, keeps us anticipating something new.
Right. And that drives us to keep posting, keep refreshing, keep scrolling, often without even realizing how much time is just poof, gone.
Yeah, it slips away. And this is where, that line between just using it casually and something more problematic starts to get blurry.
Oh, yeah.
That reward system, it can build into these patterns of behavior that get harder and harder to break. Share some traits with other addictions, really.
Let's dig into that darker side then. Those 7 dangers. First up, addiction. It's more than just liking our phones, right?
Oh, absolutely. Social media addiction is, it's a real thing. It's characterized by this persistent, often overwhelming urge to be on these platforms.
Like that constant need to check, even when you're doing something important, like talking to someone.
Exactly. Or trying to work, or just be present. That's a key indicator.
And it's not just a feeling. I saw that Common Sense Media found over half of teenagers feel addicted to their phones.
Yeah, that's a huge number.
And you've got to assume many adults feel something similar, even if they wouldn't use the word addiction.
It's very likely. And the signs, well, they vary. Feeling anxious, maybe irritable if you can't check your phone, compulsively checking notifications, losing hours scrolling without meaning to.
Or choosing the phone over, actual real life stuff.
Yeah.
Hanging out with friends, family.
Right, that trade-off. All that time, focus, energy going into the screen, often without much real tangible benefit offline.
Yeah, it's like trying to fill a hole with digital confetti or something. It doesn't really satisfy.
Well put. And this can seriously impact our mental health, which brings us neatly to danger number 2, mental health problems.
Okay.
The link between heavy social media use and things like depression, anxiety, loneliness, it's getting stronger in the research.
Yeah, I've seen studies connecting it to higher rates of depression, more anxiety, feeling lonely, even when you're technically connected to hundreds of people.
Exactly. And lower self-esteem, too. It's not just people saying it. Studies are showing these links.
Like that one in Computers and Human Behavior about Facebook use and feeling worse about your own life.
Precisely that one. And when you think about how these platforms often work, it kind of makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, because it's this constant stream of curated perfection, everyone's highlight reel.
Right. The amazing vacation, the perfect party, the flawless family photo, and often, let's be honest, heavily edited or filtered.
Success is dialed up to 11, struggles mostly hidden. It's a very selective view.
And we're wired for social comparison. We naturally look at others to see where we fit.
Okay.
Social media just throws that into overdrive. Constant upward comparison. We see these idealized versions, and it's almost impossible not to compare our own messy, real lives.
And feel like you're falling short.
Exactly. That feeling of inadequacy, like you're not good enough, even when objectively you're doing fine, it sets this impossible standard.
Mm-hmm. And then we're often scrolling through all this right before trying to sleep, which takes us to danger number 3, sleep problems. Guilty as charged sometimes.
You and millions of others, using phones, especially right before bed, it really messes with our natural sleep cycle.
It's the blue light, right?
Yeah, primarily. That blue light mimics daylight. It basically tells your brain, hey, it's still daytime, don't make melatonin yet.
Melatonin being the sleep hormone.
Correct. But so your body gets this confusing signal, suppresses melatonin, makes it harder to feel tired and fall asleep.
Instead of if it's like midnight.
Exactly. And that Harvard Medical School research confirmed it.
Mm.
People using screens before bed tend to fall asleep later, sleep less overall, and feel more tired the next day.
And the knock-on effects of bad sleep, they're pretty bad, aren't they?
Oh, significant. Weakened memory, harder to concentrate, higher risk of depression,
Yeah.
even links to weight gain.
Wow. So those few harmless minutes scrolling in bed can really ripple outwards.
They really can. And speaking of concentration, that leads perfectly to danger number 4. Decreased focus and productivity.
Ah, yes. The goldfish attention span.
It almost feels like social media is training our brains away from deep focus, doesn't it?
Totally. All those quick videos, memes, the endless scroll, swipe, 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 new thing.
Your brain gets used to that constant, rapid stimulation. It starts craving it.
And then settling down to read a book or work on a project,
Yeah.
it feels difficult.
Yeah, that ability for sustained attention, for deep focus, it gets eroded.
Right.
Remember that Microsoft study?
The attention span one.
Yeah. Down from 12 seconds in 2000 to just 8 seconds in 2021. Shorter than a goldfish, apparently.
That's slightly terrifying. Shorter than a goldfish.
It is jarring. And you see the effects, right? Difficulty studying, getting deep work done, even just reading something longer than a paragraph.
Our minds just want to jump to the next thing. That constant switching, it makes deep thinking really hard.
Precisely. But the challenges aren't just about focus. The 5th danger is really serious. Cyberbullying and online harassment.
Ugh. Yeah, this is a really toxic part of the online world. The anonymity, the distance. It seems to empower some people to be incredibly cruel.
It's disturbingly common. That Pew Research data. 59% of U.S. teens experiencing online bullying or harassment. That's nearly 6 out of 10.
That's awful. And the impact can be just devastating. Deep sadness, fear of going online.
And in the worst cases, tragically, it can contribute to suicide. The emotional pain inflicted online can be incredibly severe.
And sometimes it feels like people say things online they'd never say face-to-face. That lack of immediate consequence.
It certainly seems that way sometimes. It's a stark reminder that connection isn't always positive. And the risks continue with our 6th point, privacy.
Right. Something I think we often overlook in the moment. We just share.
Without always thinking through the implications, oversharing personal details, your exact location where you work, your kid's school, your daily routine.
That makes you vulnerable.
It absolutely can. To hackers, thieves, even stalkers. That information is valuable to people with bad intentions.
And even with privacy settings, there's the risk of data breaches, right? You mentioned that huge number.
Over 1.4 billion personal records leaked in 2021 alone, often from social media platforms. It's a massive issue.
And once something's out there online?
It's often permanent. Very hard, maybe impossible, to fully erase.
That's a sobering thought. Which ties into the final danger, doesn't it? Unrealistic expectations and those fake lives.
Definitely. That constant feed of seemingly perfect bodies, perfect relationships, dream jobs, amazing homes.
The aspirational lifestyle porn, basically.
Yeah. But as we've said, so much of it is, well staged, carefully curated, heavily edited, sometimes just made up.
Filters, clever angles, exaggerations. It's all part of projecting this ideal.
And the danger is, if you consume this constantly, it warps your expectations for your own life.
You start feeling like you should always be happy, successful, look amazing.
Right. And when your normal, everyday life with its ups and downs doesn't match that online fantasy.
You feel inadequate,
No.
like a failure.
Exactly. Fosters this cycle of comparison and self-doubt, really damaging to self-esteem.
Okay, let's make this even more concrete. You mentioned some real-world examples.
Yeah, a couple really illustrate these points. Remember Asana O'Neill?
The Instagram model who quit.
That's her. Huge following, seemed to have the perfect life online. Then she just walked away, said she was miserable, that it was all fake.
Wow.
Her quote was powerful.
Social media is a lie. It's a system based on perfection, approval, and endless comparison. Coming from inside the machine. That says a lot.
It really does. And the other example is much more tragic. The stats on teen suicide rates.
Right, the CDC data. That 56% increase between 2009 and 2017.
Yeah. And while it's complex, many experts do believe heavy social media use the cyberbullying, the constant comparison. Those unrealistic standards played a significant role in that rise.
It's just heartbreaking. These aren't just numbers. They're real kids, real families devastated. Shows the human cost.
It absolutely does.
Okay.
A sobering reminder. But it's not all doom and gloom. There are things we can do, proactive steps.
Okay, good. Let's talk solutions. How do we protect ourselves?
It's about being more mindful, taking back control.
We're like setting time limits.
Yeah, exactly. Most phones have tools for that now where you can get apps, track your usage, set limits, aiming for, say, under an hour a day total. That can make a huge difference.
Less than an hour.
Okay. And the sleep thing.
Definitely avoid it before bed. That last hour, maybe two, make it a phone-free zone.
Right.
Read a book, listen to music, just wind down without the screen.
Good advice. What else? Prioritize real life. Make a conscious effort to connect with family, friends, face-to-face.
Yeah.
That deep connection. You don't get it from a comment thread.
True, it's not the same quality of interaction.
Not at all. And actively fight the comparison urge. Remind yourself, you're seeing the highlight reel, not the bloopers. Focus on your path.
Don't compare your behind the scenes to their main stage performance.
Exactly. And think before you post. Protect your privacy. Do you really need to share your location right now? Or details about your routine?
Be more cautious. Assume it could be seen by anyone.
It's a good mindset. And finally, curate your feed. Follow accounts that actually make you feel good, inspire you, educate you, uplift you.
And unfollow the ones that make you feel bad.
Absolutely. Unfollow, mute. Take control of what you consume online. Make it a more positive space for yourself.
So wrapping this up, it's clear social media is, well, it's a double-edged sword, isn't it?
Definitely. A powerful tool. Connects us, informs us. Huge potential for good.
But it comes with real risks if we're not careful, if we're not mindful.
Right. We've talked about time wastage, addiction, mental health hits, self-esteem damage, safety risks, lost focus, even loneliness and depression.
The key takeaway feels like, don't let it control you. Don't let platforms designed to grab your attention dictate your life.
Yeah. Be the one making the choices. Which leads to a question for you, listening right now. Are you actively choosing how you engage? Or are you just kind of letting it happen, being pulled along by the notifications in the feed?
So here's the call to action then. Be smarter than the system. Use social media, sure, but don't let social media use you.
Your life, your time, your attention, it's incredibly valuable. Where else could those 37 days a year be invested?
That's the final thought to chew on. Your life is just too precious to waste scrolling. Thanks for taking this deep dive with us.